Big exciting news to start your afternoon about Direct Express cards and your third stimulus check. We now have two items of big updates from the White House, IRS, and the big banks that suggests if you are a Direct Express card holder, or you are not, but you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits, and waiting for a direct deposit of your third stimulus check, it will likely happen tomorrow, March 17th. I have all those details as a major breaking developments occurring noontime on LALATE starting right now. The big exciting news to start your afternoon is that big banks are now saying March 17th is the date at which the funds will be released. Wow, this is huge news. And this means everything if you're on a Direct Express card or you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and you're waiting for that third stimulus check by another direct deposit. Also, if you're waiting for it by paper check, I have big updates for you as well. There's a lot of great news and a lot happening in just the last minutes. I have all the details for you, but first, make sure you subscribe. Throughout the day, you're going to see a lot of breaking developments. I have got videos for you. I have more about Elizabeth Warren in this video. You've been asking about her. I got something about her, and I don't want you to miss anything. Also, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. You've been doing a great job. Let's get 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 likes per video. Let me go over the details of what happened in just the last half hour. Big banks have now said that when they received the funds from IRS, the effective date of those funds listed it as March 17th. What does that mean? It means sort of like you receive a check, and in the quarter of the check, the date of the check is March 17th. So they have elected not to release the funds because they showed the effective date as March 17th. Now, whether you believe them or not, what I want you to understand is that this is great news for you because today is March 16th. It's about 11:55 on the West Coast, shortly before 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on the East Coast. And big banks are now saying, funds will be available tomorrow, March 17th. Other banks have already started to post accounts pending for the 17th. And in the rare circumstance, you may be posting pending on the 17th, but available on the 18th. Let me go over the details right now. Countless millions of viewers received stimulus checks on Friday. More got them on Saturday. More got them on Monday. Who have gotten stimulus checks so far and who have not? So far, not one of the millions and millions of viewers of this channel who are on the Direct Express card have gotten cleared funds of a $1,400 third stimulus check as of today, which is Tuesday, shortly before noontime on the West Coast. But in the chat right before this video, and I'm going to turn to this chat in just about 10 minutes. I'm going to ask you well, so get ready to chat with me live. One viewer said their daughter, who is on the Direct Express card, shows pending for tomorrow. This is the first time I've heard this as well. So this is the first breaking development of a new indication of a pending receipt on Direct Express. We have also had viewers who are on the Direct Express card use the Track My IRS tool, and that shows it's the March 17th date as well. I'll be going over that tool in the next video. The tool is very important because ultimately it'll give us guidance as to when you're getting the stimulus check. Now, so what does that mean about Direct Express cards specifically? Because no Direct Express card viewers of this channel have gotten the stimulus check as of the middle of today, where I mean physically the funds have cleared, I don't think anyone will get it by the end of today, Tuesday. And by all accounts, I think the vast majority of viewers on Direct Express who watch this channel will see the funds either available or pending tomorrow. And I think it's likely to show available funds tomorrow. Why do we know this? Because the big banks, much like Direct Express, have said we have the funds, but the date on the funds is March 17th, so we're releasing them tomorrow. Other big banks say the funds are for March 17th, so we'll either release it the 17th or the 18th. This shows incredible clarity. Net result, if you're on Direct Express, I don't think you're going to see a check post today, which is Tuesday. I think it will post Wednesday, and in the worst scenario, maybe the day after. But here is this bit to understand. If you are an adult dependent who receives your stimulus check, your stimulus check would likely go to the person who you are a dependent on their tax return. And what if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, but you don't get paid by Direct Express? You get those benefits into a bank account different than the Direct Express card. When are people on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits going to get their stimulus check? By all accounts, it looks like the vast majority of the U.S. population who's waiting for a direct deposit, whether you're on SSI or not, will be March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Now, if you're wondering about the paper check, we have great updates about the paper check as well. The President of the United States addressed the American public in a video this morning saying that paper checks and everyone else will be get done in the next 10 days. This is huge, great news because paper checks were expected to come in 3 weeks from when it became law. But the president now confirms if you are waiting for a paper check or anything else, it's going to come within 10 days of last week. Here is the president's statement this morning.
We're going to reach 2 goals in the next 10 days. 100 million shots in people's arms. 100 million shots. And 100 million checks of $1,400 or more in people's pockets within the next 10 days. We're on the way. Help is on the way.
Now, what I want you to understand with that video is he is not saying you're going to have to wait 10 days to get your stimulus check. Rather, he's saying that's the totality of the time frame. The longest would be the paper check people. There are three waves of stimulus checks being sent out. The first has already occurred. That's the direct deposit. Those went out electronically on Friday. The next wave, whatever you want to call it, has already gone out as well. That's the paper check. And the last one is the debit card. Those are landing not in 3 weeks from last Thursday, but by the end of next week. Recap. Electronic disbursements started last week. And if you're waiting for electronic deposit, it would likely happen by Direct Express card tomorrow. If you're waiting for debit card, it's likely to happen by the end of next week. Excuse me, a paper check or debit card. The IRS's debit card. It would likely happen by the end of next week. And finally, if you are on SSI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, but you don't receive them on a Direct Express card, but receive them electronically, those are likely to happen tomorrow as well. During the live chat, during one of the commercial breaks, someone asked me a very good question. What time tomorrow for Direct Express? Let me go over that detail right now as well. It's a great question. Direct Express cards, if they were to release the funds on the 17th, which I believe they're going to, will have the funds by 12:01 a.m. your local time, the 17th. But when will you actually see the funds available? It could absolutely be any time before, from the 12:01 a.m. all the way to the early evening. Why? Because when banks receive funds, they post them available to your account 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. They just do it all day long. And that's how they notify you of the deposit. So what's the thing you need to know about the time of day for the March 17th? This is the message I want to make very clear to you, so you know it going into tomorrow. And if you are, if you know this information, please share it with other viewers who jump in tomorrow's live videos. If you receive your Direct Express tomorrow, let's say at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I'm live on air, and someone else jumps into the chat and says, I'm on Direct Express, I haven't gotten my stimulus check yet. It's 8 o'clock, why did you get your stimulus check? Please tell them this information, that the way that banks show available funds spans over the entire business hours of the bank. Sometimes they do them in the morning, sometimes they do them in the afternoon, and they do them throughout the day for different accounts, meaning not because they don't like you or because you're tall or you're short or you got purple hair, you got green hair. They just post it at different hours throughout the day for a lot of different people. So do not panic if by 8 o'clock a.m. tomorrow morning, you see people in the live chat saying, I'm on Direct Express, I show it pending, and you don't show yours pending. It may appear later, it will appear later that day for you as well. How do you know if something to post to your account? The best way I always advise viewers is to set up what's called an alert. Most banks in their portal have an alert mechanism where they can send you alerts. One of the alerts they can send you is if you're overdrawn. Another alert they could send you is when there's a deposit. Oh, when there's moolah? Yes, when there's moolah, it could send you an alert. If you have that ability, set up that alert. The alert can come by text message or email or both. They're absolutely wonderful. Finally, the last message, which I delivered earlier today, and I want to remind you as well. If you're on Direct Express or SSI or SSDI, and especially if you're a senior, please do not try to withdraw the funds in a very trafficked outside ATM machine tomorrow. I just think it's a time bomb waiting to explode. Imagine how many people across the country tomorrow will be going to ATMs and withdrawing 14 $100 bills. You just stand in a corner and you could certainly see it happening over and over again. It is a time bomb for pickpockets and things like that. Don't do that. Rather go inside the bank, go to the teller, ask them if there's a transaction fee, which likely there is not as opposed to an ATM, and quietly, discreetly inside the bank, withdraw the funds and put it into an envelope and take it on your way in your pocket. Do not do it outside because tomorrow is just very, very not good idea. Let me answer some of your incredible questions and comments that are in the live chat right now. If you are a Direct Express card holder, any information you have that could help other viewers, drop in the comments below, and I'll answer them right on the screen. Let me see. Who gets a child tax credit for parents who are rotating every year? That's going to be a big problem. I don't know the answer, and I don't think IRS knows the answer either. Jennifer says people on Direct Express wait to after 1 a.m. to check your card. They post deposits around midnight to 1 a.m. Good to know. Thank you, Jennifer, for that helpful information. Dennis says, I'll be freaking out as well. Don't freak out. Don't freak out if you have to wait till 9 o'clock and it doesn't show posts until 9:02 a.m. Elizabeth, so why does the IRS payment tool show not available? It's because this tool does not work. But I'll be going over more about that tool in the video right after this. Jenny, why just we have to wait? But because that's the way it works. Kathy says, I have another type of card. So Kathy, your card would likely be the same. If your card is showing anything about March 17th, it's likely to post the 17th or the 18th. If you filed 2020, it's still up in the air. I don't know what that question is about. Let me see anything else. Carrie says, love your show. Well, I appreciate that, Carrie. Let me see. A lot of questions about child tax credit. I'll answer that in a second because that is a big issue. Wow, more questions about the child tax credit. How are you? I'm very good, Dennis. Thank you for asking. How does he know? April. Because I'm a news reporter. This is what I do. I go online and I find the information for you and I get the source directly from the White House. Simon, what is the total amount for adult dependents? $1,400. Really appreciate that. When I get my alerts, it says pending. Bruce, that's wonderful. Does it show pending for Direct Express or someone else? Now, one of the messages which I delivered yesterday, I forgot to mention in this video, is that for purposes of a pending deposit, calling up your bank they will be able to tell you when something pending is available. Here's an example. If you show pending of $1,400 in a portal or a website or an app, and it generally does not say when it's available for. But if you call up the bank, the 800 number, and ask them, I see $1,400 pending, when is it going to be available? They will be able to tell you. That is one of the few things that calling up your bank actually helps. Most of the time, it's 24 hours, but it's a great source of information is calling up the bank to ask them, because they will answer that question as well. If you got the first two, will you get the third one? My mom wants to know. Absolutely. If you got the first two electronically, you'll get the third one by debit card as well, if that's the question. Jenny, thank you, LA. You're the bomb. I appreciate that. Brad B, thank you, LA. Alma in the house. Let's see. Why is the IRS telling us not to file amended returns? Tina, great question. And I promised to answer that in the video before. I'm going to do that right now. I'll be back with the rest of the questions about Direct Express in a second. Here's for Tina and everyone else. Oh, my goodness. This is a real shocker. If you're a member to this channel, which Tina is, you will see this as a link in yesterday's announcements of PDFs. IRS is now telling viewers, not just telling viewers, telling Americans, that if you need to fix something, don't fix it by amended tax return. This is what IRS is saying. If you filed a 2020 tax return, don't start trying to do amended tax returns to fix things yet. And if you have not filed your 2020 tax return, wait a little bit, because they're going to come out with an advisory. Basically, remember, your 2020 personal tax return is not due just yet. So they're saying hold off a little bit, because we see a lot of people rushing to do amended tax returns because they've already filed for 2020 and they're panicking about certain situations. The situations that the IRS is referring to is stimulus checks, the child tax credit, the child care tax credit, and the $10,200 of unemployment. IRS is saying, hold off, do not do an amended return. This is an advisory officially from the IRS's website. If you're not a member, you can find it on irs.gov. It just came out, and this is really big, huge news. Let me answer some of your other questions about the Direct Express card. Let's see. Thank you for answering our questions. Thank you, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it. Cheryl, thank you, LA, for helping us. I appreciate it. And join me on the next video, because I'll be going over the status situation. So Amber has a question about status. Hello, says Amber. My status says unavailable. Is it because I'm getting checked by mail? That's a really great question. Let me answer it. Amber's question is, when she tracks the stimulus tool, when she uses the IRS Track My Stimulus tool, it says no information. And she says, is that because it's coming by paper check? Here's an interesting facet. One, we know the tool is not reliable. Two, if the tool says no information, it does not mean you're not getting a stimulus check. It means the tool's not working. But one of the viewers, I think his name was Joey, in the video before this, said that he always gets paper checks for his stimulus checks. And IRS tool always says not available, no information. So if you're a paper check recipient, you may actually now see no information when you use the IRS tool. I cannot confirm that. If someone else is a paper check recipient and they have always seen that in the results of the IRS tool, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear that. Finally, here's a new message, which you're going to hear on the video right after this. Here's a spoiler of what's coming up in the video after this. I've heard from viewers that the IRS tool has delivered different results between Monday and last Saturday. They check one time and then they check another time, and things change. There is always something happening, isn't there? I called my bank and they said nothing pending. Ultimately, using the portal of your bank really helps. Thank you about the warning not to take the $1,400 in the ATM. Yes, please do not do it by ATM. I cannot use my Direct Express inside my bank, only the ATM. I don't know. I'm not going to be a prophet of every bank, but let me explain what I can say is that under second stimulus, some people got debit cards as second stimulus checks. Under unemployment, some people got Bank America cards in California for their unemployment benefits. They got debit cards. In both cases, people were able to go into banks and say, please cash what's on this card. Ultimately, I would believe that most banks should be able to cash what's ever on a card, even if you're not a bank customer. And if you go to a bank and they say, no, we don't want to cash what's on that stimulus card, then go to another bank, because I do know that banks do that. The bank that you may have chose said, no, we don't like doing that. Maybe because that's their own particular bank policy. But that is something to consider about as well. Will Direct Express show pending payment, says Sheena. I don't know that answer to that question, but I did have a viewer in the video before this who said her daughter has shown pending for tomorrow on her Direct Express card. So that is the first and only time I've heard that, but it's very, very helpful. Will Direct Express show pending? Another viewer asked the same question. Let me answer that question another way. The other way I want to answer the question is, when you receive the $1,400 stimulus check onto Direct Express or any other type of bank instrument, some banks show it pending and then cleared, and other banks just show it cleared. They never show it pending. It just appears, and that's it. Hard to say what your bank is going to do. If you have received funds similar to this in the prior occurrences, then you would know. But a lot of big banks simply just show the funds available, and that's it. Remember that these funds are less than $5,000, so banks generally don't hold the funds for any great duration. But that is something to consider across the board. That was a really great question. Why is it not available? Another person asked. If you're on SSI and SSDI and you don't file taxes because of this, Wolf. So if you are asking about fixing things and you're on SSI and SSDI, how do you fix it? We don't know yet. Trisha, is EIDL live yet? I actually looked at EIDL no less than 20 minutes ago. I have not looked in the last week, and I looked about 20 minutes ago. You know why? Because there's a late article about a half an hour ago says SBA has now sworn in the head of SBA. And I was going to talk about this, and I didn't want to be shady, but let me be shady. Since the new head of SBA has come in, the second stimulus was supposed to go live with an EIDL grant. It has not. It was supposed to go live with the agricultural grant. It has not. As to the third stimulus, has it gone live with the EIDL grant third stimulus? It has not. Has it gone live with the shuttered venue grant of the second stimulus? No. The shuttered grant of the third stimulus? No. The restaurant grant of the third stimulus? No. She literally has about 7 items to go live with and hasn't gone live with any of them since January. Some of them holding off since Trump's stimulus. So there we are. A lot of work for her to catch up with. But I'm back with you in just 3 minutes as we go into the continuation of New in Time LA with Track Your Stimulus Check. Thank you for your great questions. If you're watching this video after it airs live and it's taped, I won't be able to answer your questions live because that's just a taped version of me. But if you want your questions answered and you're still around, jump into the next video, which is live in just 2 minutes as Noontime LA continues with more. Stay of LA for more.